What's up guys, the Allfather here with an attack review video from our most recent war. And we struggled quite a bit during this war with getting 3-star victories. We had a lot of high level 1 and 2 stars that had 90+% damage. And what I want to look at is just a few tweaks and a few scouting tips to turn those 2 stars into consistent 3 stars. So that we just don't run into these unnecessarily tight wars when we have good strategies and just need to work on the deployment just a little bit. So going to look at our war log here and the attack log and just pull up a few of these attacks that were high percentage but not high enough stars. Start here with the Great Guy bringing a Hog Attack against this base. We know that there's 3 Teslas in the core, leaving just a couple of empty 2x2 spaces where giant bombs could be. And with Hogs, it's really always about the spell placement. And being off by just a little bit or just a little bit late on a giant bomb location and your hog rate is over. So we're going to let this play out and just kind of see if I can't point out a couple areas where this attack might have gone a little bit better. So he drops his 3 hogs there, gets the lure and a building down. So that's a very efficient use of troops. So that part of the attack is good. Step 1 is taken care of. Then he's going to bring the troops out to the corner. Would like to see and draw them a little farther out, but that really didn't affect the attack. But you see that sometimes these wizards will target buildings instead of troops if they get too close to them. So that part's done. Step 2 is taken care of. And then you'll see a surgical deployment here. He's just going to drop 3 hog on all of the point defenses. Working his way around the base. That's good. You see that first Tesla in the core is popped already? And now I'm just going to pause it right there. So far everything's kind of going the way he's planned. He's done a surgical hog deployment, dropped 3 hogs on each of the point defenses. If you look down at the bottom bar on how many troops he's got left, you'll notice there's still 3 hogs there. Those 3 hogs should be released, if not now, really soon. And you'll see that for whatever reason, whether they were forgotten or whatever it was, is they didn't get launched. And that's going to hurt you because hogs, one of the power of hogs is their ability to attack in packs and just overwhelm defenses. Also, you'll see the troops are now starting to approach the core, which means one of those bombs has already been triggered, you see on the top there. So there's only 2 bombs left. You know from scouting this base that they're going to be in the core, they're going to be in between the Teslas, so that has to be pre-healed. If you take a look at this attack, those hogs are working on that. They get to the core, heal spell's too late. That's at least 3 hogs down because of that. Second heal spell goes down there. Not a terrible drop there. And poison spell goes down, takes care of the skeletons, so that part of it's good. And you'll see there's still a heal spell left and there's hogs in the core. And by the time that heal spell gets dropped, it's too late. The hogs are already dead. And so the first heal spell was late, that third heal spell was late, and as a result, those 3 hogs were late. And so as a result, you know, we've got 3 Teslas still up in the core. Those last 3 hogs come in, but there's no heal spell to keep them alive. And as far as the rest of it, there's still wizards and witches and barbarian king working their way around the outside. So the cleanup part of it's all going good. Everything else is going well. But because of those missteps on the heal spells, we lost too many hogs. You know, at least half a dozen or more hogs that did not need to die. And so as a result, there's just not enough to take care of that last Tesla. And had that last Tesla gone down, the Barbarian King would have stayed up, a couple other troops would have stayed up, and it would have been more than enough to take this base out. But as it is, time's out, doesn't get that Tesla down, doesn't get the town hall, and it's a 97% 1 star. So as you can see, and especially with hogs, if you've worked with them at all, you know how finicky they are and how critical the heal spell placement is, and you just got to know where you're going to put them ahead of time and make sure you get them there before the hogs get there. You're better off dropping them a little bit early than too late. So again, just little things turn that 2 star or that 1 star, that high percentage attack, into a 3-star victory. Next one here, you see we got a 99%er. We love those. Everybody loves getting that 99% where you leave one building and it costs a star. So happens to us all. Nothing to be ashamed of. But we see Ryan here again is going to bring a Hog Attack against this very premature Town Hall 9. It was actually ranked way down in the Town Hall 8 area, but couple things we'll see here again is spell placement, and you can see from this attack here he does a good job there, throws a couple in there, he gets a lure done, pulls everything out to the side, and he's going to do just a standard clan castle kill. Nothing wrong with that. That part all goes relatively well. And we'll fast forward through that part. Now he's got the main portion of his Hog Attack coming in. Of course, we see that the only open spots that are 2x2 or 2x4 where bombs could be is going to be in right down that middle stripe there, behind the archer towers or in the core. So he's just going to kind of drop a surgical or just a sprinkling his hogs in from different angles to try to avoid all of them tripping any one set of double giant bombs. But notice on the right here, he's got these back 5 hogs here that he sends on the back side. Everything else is coming from the top northwest side or northeast side. And then for whatever reason, he drops these 5 hogs on the back side, and watch what they do. They come in here, they get 1 cannon down, and then they're dead. So really ineffective use of the 5 hogs. It would have been better used in a pack across the top so that they just sweep across the base. And you see now he's used all 3 of his heal spells. He covered 1 giant bomb, 2 giant bombs. There's still 2 left though. And if you notice the placement of that residual circle of that heal spell, notice where the giant bombs went off and notice where that heal spell is placed. Had it been 2 tiles to the southwest, he would have covered those giant bombs completely. And this pack of hogs now that's circling across the bottom of the base towards that wizard tower that are almost all dead would be at least at half health, if not more. And so you see, now they're going to be struggling to get through because he's got a whole pack there of probably 10 hogs that are all dying off quickly. Then they come in there and they trip the last set of double giant bombs because there wasn't any heal spells left. And unfortunately what that does is it just leaves too many defenses up. See, he's still got his Barbarian King, Wizards, and Witches working around the side. They've all managed to live, so that part of the attack is great. But without those hogs, and this being a Town Hall 9, it's got those extra couple of buildings, and that's going to be enough to take this attack from an easy 3-star to a 99% 1-star or 99% 2-star attack, leaving just that wizard tower left. So good idea, brought the right troops, did everything well up until those spell drops. And those spell drops can make or break a Hog Attack. Again, just placement by 1 or 2 tiles can be the difference between a 1-star, a 2-star, or a 3-star attack. Next one we're going to look at here is Viper's attack on number 2, and This is featured in the war recap video. It was a good attack. It was a high percentage attack and a 2-star. And as mentioned in the war recap video, with just a few minor alterations, these attacks can be turned from 2 stars into 3. And a lot of times, what turns a 2-star attack into a 3-star attack is just a handful of troops, maybe anywhere from 15 to 20 to 30 troop space on the back end of your attack that's able to do an effective cleanup and finish the attack off, while some of your ground troops may be hitting a wall and can't bust through that very back end. Some balloons or some hogs might be able to finish the job. And so he does a good job punching to the core, taking out the town hall, taking out all those inner defenses. Everything's being tanked. There's tons of skeletons running around, and everything's going well until it hits the back end here, and there's that buried Tesla, the cannon, and some of these back end defenses. And that's going to be just enough to deter this attack. And as I mentioned in the war recap, that haste spell is a great idea. A great back end strategy is to get back end troops in quickly. However, would have been much more ideally utilized with some balloons or some hogs, so that, or something like that, that could be rushed in there with that haste spell. They would get the benefit, especially balloons, because of their slow movement and their slow speed of getting to their targets. That would have been a great, if you could imagine this same attack with let's say 3 back end balloons in that haste spell. Would have rushed in, dropped out that cannon, dropped out that Tesla, and this would have been a 3-star victory. So again, sometimes it's hard to figure out where to trim and where to give up the space for that, but with 24 wizards and 5 witches, it would have probably been pretty easy to find a way to cut out 15 space for those 3 back end balloons, or whatever it might be. You know, for this attack, that's kind of what jumps out at me. That might have worked. For other attacks, it might be a handful of hogs or a handful of balloons. And so just keep that in mind. If you're struggling, you're getting those high percentages and they're still ending up with 2 stars, is just that slight tweak to your army composition might be all it takes to turn those into consistent 3-star victories. And the last one we're going to look at here Sorry, it takes a little bit more time to when you got to scroll through them all to find them. Here's a 96% 2-star by Abraham. And a couple things that I want to point out on this. First of all is the strategy that he brings. Abraham is a very talented and skilled surgical hog attacker. And that works on a lot of bases, and there's a few that it doesn't work on. This one, it wasn't really much of a problem. The only thing is this might not have been the best approach to use a surgical hog the way that he did it, because I want to show you what he did and pay attention when we actually play through it. Is, for example, he'll drop 3 hogs here and 3 hogs here and target the cannon and the archer tower there. And then what they're going to do is one set of those is going to path, that cannon will actually go down first. They'll jump over to the archer tower, and then they're going to come right through here where there's obvious flip traps, and he's going to lose 2 to 3 hogs at a time. A better approach in this situation, rather than sprinkling them in surgically there, is drop all 6 so that they come here. Then they're going to path to the cannon. Then they're going to come here to the wizard tower and continue through the base. And they will avoid that flip trap, and that's going to save 2 to 3 hogs. Same thing on this side. If you do the surgical deployment here, the cannon's going to go down first, then the archer tower is going to go down first, then the cannon, and then they're going to come across here and hit the flip trap. Alternatively, sending all 6 hogs at the cannon, they'll take the cannon out, move here, and come across in this kind of pattern. Totally avoiding that flip trap. Again, saving 2 to 3 hogs. So when you think of a surgical attack where you're coming down to probably just a handful of hogs left at the end of the attack, and you're heavily depending on those for your cleanup, losing 2 and 3 here and there can be a deal breaker, and can cause you to lose enough troops to prevent a 3-star attack. And so those are a couple things. The only other thing, and I can't move the screen with this tool on, but I would also suggest on this type of base maybe looking at a go-ho attack. And the reason being is, imagine sending golems here and here, and you're going to tank all of these defenses, and be able to bring in your targeted hogs from behind and take out this base a lot quicker, and not rely on the hogs so much and let the golems tank for you. So I personally would have brought that attack, but either one would have been fine. Obviously this one just didn't work out quite the way it was supposed to, but we're going to watch it just so you can see what I'm talking about. And he drops his 4 hogs in there, accomplishes the lure, kills a building, and trips a giant bomb. So that part of it is efficient. That part of it's awesome. That's great. Then he's going to do his standard barb walk, witch wizard, clan castle kill. All of that is excellent. Again, where this attack doesn't quite go right is with the surgical deployment of the hogs. And what I want you to watch is those areas that I pointed out just a little bit ago, and watch where the hogs path and how they end up going right over the flip traps. So again, they're about to go over there. If you look in this area over here where the surgical deployment's going on, watch how the buildings go down. They go down in such a manner that they go from one, then to the next, then right across those flip traps, and there goes the piggies flying. It happened over there on this side of the screen. It happened on all 3 areas of the screen. So that's anywhere from 6 to 9 hogs gone because of flip traps that could have been avoided by just changing that deployment up slightly. Other than that, heal spells are fine. Everything else is fine. Just ran out of troops. And so again, these are just little things. These are the things that I see. These are the things that maybe as some of you are watching other people's attacks or even my attacks, you're wondering, you know, how does this person get it to happen and I can't? This is why. Just these little details. And not always the easiest to see before you attack. Obviously, this is a lot easier in hindsight. But as you experience the failures, you'll also know how to learn from them and adjust for success. So those are the attacks that we had that were high percentage and not 3-star attacks. And hopefully these reviews help you to kind of see just some of the little tiny adjustments in spell placement, in army composition, in army deployment that can take your attacks to the next level and get you 3-starring those bases every time. So, and if not every time, at least consistently, to where you feel confident in going after any base that's at your level. So I hope that's a help to you, and until next time, this is the Allfather signing out.